Do you have ADHD?
I do.
Me too.
Yes, we love a good ADHD.
Do you have you ever been medicated for it?
Not anymore.
Because it took off your soul?
My personality was not.
Me too.
And I don't like to be boring.
Me neither.
So
it did the same thing to me, girl.
I'm not either on anxiety either. Are you? Wait!
Have you ever noticed how it seems like everybody and their mom has ADHD now? Well, mine actually does. She was diagnosed in college, and apparently it's genetic. Mountain Dew mornings, maybe my first cup of coffee when I was probably a little bit too young for it. I'm like a Nepo baby of ADHD understanding. But from the outside looking in, it can start to look like a trend. And for me, on the inside looking out, it's definitely feeling like a trend. And if you ever thought you might have ADHD, you're probably not crazy for thinking that, because look at some of the symptoms people are experiencing right now. Trouble focusing, starting tasks but not finishing them, difficulty making simple decisions, having 10 amazing ideas but struggling to execute even one, and walking into a room and forgetting why you went in there, which is my personal favorite. If any of that sounds familiar, then congratulations. You might be living in 2026. But here's the thing. I was actually diagnosed with ADHD when I was 14 years old. And my doctor was a little bit different than most. By this time, my mom already knew what she was looking at. She had gone through the system herself, so she was not about to let them just medicate me and call it a day, which meant my journey with ADHD was very messy. I went on medication, I went off medication. I tried a little bit of this and a lot of that. And I spent years trying to figure out what worked for me and my brain. And during that process, I noticed something. The days that I could focus and the days that I absolutely could not did not feel random. And that's what's so interesting about those trendy traits we all know of ADHD. They don't just show up with ADHD. They're actually a sign of executive dysfunction, which is your brain's ability to regulate attention, emotion, and behavior going offline. Executive dysfunction is one of the primary struggles of those with ADHD, but it is also a telltale sign of a dysregulated nervous system. And the crazy thing about that is we don't all have ADHD, but we do all have a nervous system. Yet most of us have never been taught to think about our nervous system or how to regulate it. Which is very wild, because your nervous system literally controls how you focus, how you react to stress, how you rest, how you connect, and so much more. So we're all walking around with the most important system in our bodies with no idea how it works. Most people think that their nervous system is something that just happens to them. Anxiety happens, stress happens, burnout happens. But in reality, your nervous system is constantly responding to the world around you. Physical, emotional, cognitive inputs. In other words, the outside world is constantly talking to your nervous system, whether you're actively listening or not. And once I realized that, I honestly started listening. I started paying attention to how my mind and body felt throughout the day, because I noticed that I was cycling constantly. Some days I would wake up wired, ideas flowing, texting 3 people at once. My brain would have 5 tabs open. And then other days, the smallest tasks felt heavy. Emails felt personal. Phone calls felt awkward. And even resting was uncomfortable. And instead of recognizing that I was moving through these different modes, I told myself that I was inconsistent, not disciplined, and not sticking to the plan. A plan that I made up without ever considering how I actually feel trying to execute it. Y'all do realize what we typically call procrastination is usually just your body saying it does not feel safe enough to execute yet, which is why we hold off until it feels like a threat not to do it. Because the only thing that can overcome the discomfort of feeling unsafe is immediate danger. It's not laziness, it's your nervous system. As of 2023, 15.5 million US adults had an ADHD diagnosis, and half of them were diagnosed as adults. Because no, you don't grow out of it. And a 2025 study published by the American Psychiatric Association's own journal confirmed that diagnoses have been rising sharply since 2020, which just so happens to be the year that we all got to know ourselves better. We all learned the symptoms. We just didn't learn what else could cause them. Everybody didn't suddenly wake up broken. But we did wake up needing our nervous system to be on high alert always. And we finally started paying attention to what was always there. ADHD is real, because apparently some people still need to hear that, which means, like any other real thing, ADHD looks and feels different on everyone. And so does a dysregulated nervous system. The thing is, the days my nervous system felt good, my ADHD felt manageable. Not medicated away, just manageable. And the days that it didn't, everything fell apart. Focus, mood, decisions, all of it. I wasn't tracking my ADHD. I was tracking my nervous system. I just didn't have the words for it yet. I know this, not just because I've studied it, but because I'm living it. I'm in it, and I'm really in it. Bachelor's degree in healthcare administration, master's in instructional design technology, certified notary, certified nurse aide, licensed drone pilot. I have a problem. 15 plus jobs trying to figure out how my brain fit in this world. And right now, I'm a flight attendant, a COO, and a founder at the same time. Every one of those jobs says something different to my nervous system. And my nervous system always got the final say on what happened next. And it pretty much said, talk to me nice or don't talk to me at all. And honestly, that either looked like me quitting or self-sabotaging my way out the door, which is pretty much the same thing. Sometimes I feel like the final boss of ADHD and nervous system dysregulation, I didn't just get the diagnosis, I got the expansion pack and some of the cheat codes thanks to my mom. But that is exactly why I had to pay closer attention to how I felt throughout the day. Because I was cycling. I was cycling through very familiar patterns. So I started taking notes and putting names on them. There is a mode where I want stimulation. I want momentum. I want to fill lit up. This is the version of me that says yes too quickly, books the flight, starts new projects, drinks the coffee, and feels unstoppable. That's Boost. And honestly, my mom made Boost a thing before I did. Those Mountain Dew mornings, that first cup of coffee made by her hands, she was just managing us in the only way that she knew. She just knew what we needed to feel more like ourselves. Then there's a mode where I want stability and structure. This is the version of me that craves clarity, order, predictability. I'm crafting to-do lists and creating budgets that I'm never going to stick to. This is a version of me that is cleaning and rearranging my space at midnight because something feels off. I want control. That's control. Then there's the mode where I don't want to think. I don't want to perform. I don't want to decide. I want softness. I want comfort. I want relief. That might look like lying on a couch, calling somebody who feels safe, drinking tea, scrolling without thinking. I'm depleted and I need to restore. I also call that I'm just a girl. But that's restore. And when I stepped back and I looked at it, I noticed something. I wasn't inconsistent because I was consistently cycling between different nervous system states. 3 modes, that's it. Boost, control, restore. And here's what changed everything for me, and maybe for you too. It's not about the behavior. It's about the mode you're in. Scrolling TikTok at 8 a.m. could be boost. Your brain is reaching for stimulation before you've directed it. Scrolling at 9 p.m. after a full day, that might be restore. You're depleted and you know it. Same app, different mode. Coffee in the morning, boost. Red wine at night, restore. Same ritual, different state. The behavior didn't change, but your awareness of it did. And that's the whole thing. Most people aren't making bad choices as much as they're misreading their mode. They shame themselves for scrolling when what they actually needed was rest. They push through when they need a reset. And they force focus when their nervous system is screaming for softness. And then they wonder why nothing is working. But once you can name the mode you're actually in, not the mode you think that you should be in, everything shifts. Because you stop fighting yourself and you start reading yourself. Boost, control, restore. Once you can name it, you've got one real decision to make. Does this mode fit the moment? If yes, then feed it on purpose. Restore at the end of a long day, then actually restore. T, couch, the person who feels safe, not just convenient. If no, don't force it. Don't fight your nervous system into focus when it's asking you for softness. Give it one small thing that moves you. A walk, a shower, food, open a laptop, the first sentence, the first email, the first step. That's it. Don't bully your nervous system. Feed it something it can actually use. Name it and work with it. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, try asking yourself one question. What mode am I in? Boost, control, or restore? Tomorrow afternoon, check in again. What mode am I in now, and did it change? And right before you call it a night, pause for a second and ask one more thing. You probably guess what this is. What mode am I in? And what did I feed it today? So, why does it seem like everyone has ADHD? It's because everybody has a nervous system. And maybe the real question isn't, why does everybody have ADHD now? And the real question is, why were we never taught how to work with our nervous system in the first place?